The stand at today's LaSalle and Adams Street is no longer there, was about 10 stories tall. This is why we are known as the Second City. Not because we're second to New York, as New Yorkers like to say. We get it, New York is great, but our nickname, the Second City, is because the first Chicago burned down in the year 1871, and this is the second Chicago that we see here today. So by the year 1891, Chicago's population, it is now grown to about 1.3 million people, and we want to put our names back in the map as a major city. So we want to lobby for a World's Fair that was coming up in 1893, Columbus Exposition. So we send our best politicians to Congress to lobby for this fair. So the St. Louis, New York, Pittsburgh, and other major cities in the United States at the time, our politicians were so relentless that we got the fair. And this angered New Yorkers, especially one specific New York reporter, Charles Dana. He would go on to write those windy windbags from the Windy City, blowing nothing but hot air. This is how we get our nickname, the Windy City. Not because of our wind velocity. Chicago, we are only the 16th windiest city in the United States. Windiest city in the U.S., Amarillo, Texas. Now, it did sell to the Kennedy family back in 1945 for about $13 billion in back taxes. In the year 1998, the Kennedy family sold that building for $575 million. They decided to keep the land to our right here. This is known as Wolf Point, and they are developing it at the moment. They have Wolf Point West already completed. It's 570 feet tall. Wolf Point East completed about 2 months ago with 750 feet tall. Salesforce will be the last of the three buildings, will be 950 feet tall. Wolf Point is also a very historic and important place for the Godwins, because here is where we have our first drugstore, church, bridge to cross the Chicago River, and tavern. Now it's also where we get our name, Chicago. Now the locals were in the tavern and they raised the tinker. What are we going to call this place? They came up with the name Chicago based off the words they heard the natives using, Chicago. They just did not know that they translated into wild smelly onions. Directly to your right is River Point. It opened 3 years ago in 2017. Another LEED 75 building. The building that looks like it's been built upside down, 150 North Riverside. It has to be built this way. It's built over active switching tracks. Now at the top of the building, they have something that we cannot see. It's something known as a mass damper system. Essentially, it's a giant tank that contains about 160,000 gallons of water. It is to help with the swaying of the building when it wants to be blown by the wind. You see, the building is built like a tuning fork. So when it wants to be blown east by the wind, 160,000 gallons of water goes to the west end of the building. All computer automated. To your right, you'll find what's known as the terminus of the Riverwalk. Depending on where you are, this is the start or finish of our Riverwalk. The train that's passing, that's our L train. L is short for elevated train. First introduced back in 1892 to pass right alleyways, was expanded for Columbus Exposition. But the beautiful green glass building is 333 West Wacker Drive, completed by Cone, Pedersen, and Fox. The building was voted the most beautiful building alongside the Chicago River. Notice how it bends with the natural bend of the river. That's known as contextualism, when a building adapts to the natural side of topography that it is on.